So here's the biggest thing about this. A lot of people make this mistake of doing the dry fire. I have one set right now so that I can just show you guys real quick. I have it set for 4 seconds and my delay is 2 seconds. So here's the problem with this. A lot of people make this mistake by doing this. They don't have the reset time. They go up, fire, reload, fire, and they continue to make all these noises and all that stuff. And every single one of those noises was recorded, and it was your last shot, last sound recorded was the one that was recorded for your overall time. And a lot of people get complicated or confused by that. But really to them, they're like, I should have done that faster than 4 seconds because I fired one, reload one. But ultimately, all you needed to do was wait a second or two more after the dry fire drill is done, and then achieving what's called the follow through before you make all the others, reset and all that stuff. So a timer only records your drill itself. So the way to correctly do it, which is awesome because it now forces you to do what's called the follow through, not just be in a rush to get to the next set.
Brought to you by Shooters Global. We created the advanced training system and next-gen shot timers to help you progress faster.
Now the correct way to do this dry fire would be this. So you would have to achieve the follow through and all that stuff. So you would just dry fire. Once you're done with that, you follow through, you did all that stuff. It only recorded your last trigger pull, the last sound that you made. And instead of constantly being in a rush to fire, boom, and all my reset, and do all that stuff, all the sound that you're making during the dry fire session is being picked up by the timer under the smart section, because it's wanting to record the last sound that you made. And usually the last sound that you made is on the trigger pull itself. This one, you can use it, you can stop it when the reload if you'd like, but for me, I have the ability to pull that trigger as my last shot fired. If I didn't have the ability, like the double action, single action gun, let's just say my gun is always in single action, I'm just gonna, what I'll do is I'll change the dry fire session and I'll do it like this. Well, I'll pull the trigger only on my last shot. So for instance, if I have a striker fire gun or any other gun than a hammer fire where I can actuate the trigger each and every single time, like a revolver or a double action, this is how I would do it. I won't pull the first shot. I'll just pretend in my head that I fired the shot, and then I'll reload, then I'll fire the final shot. So it'll look like this. So that particular drill right there, you can see I waited for the end double beep in order for me to be able to make all the noises, drop the mag, and then I can make all the noises I want to now and reset up. And that's why it's super important when you're setting this up that between reps, depending on the drill that you're doing, whether it's a complex drill like magazine reloads and it requires setup, or a punch out and draw and fire, I may need 5 seconds in order for me to reset myself. So let's say now, let's go with 2 reps. So for this video purpose, I'm gonna need 5 seconds to reset. So I'm gonna wait for that double buzzer. And then once I have that double buzzer, then my 5 seconds starts in my countdown. And that's where my reset happens. So for this instance, it'll look like this. That was my follow through. Now my 5 seconds starts. I do it all over again. Then I can make all the noise I want again. And since I have it in 2 sets or reps, I'm done, my dry fire is done. And now it only recorded, as you can see here, the last sound it made, which is my hammer falling down. 3.76 and 3.87, both of them fairly consistent. I did the same thing when I look for my sights, pull the trigger, all that stuff. So that's the big, most important thing about the reset time and all of that stuff. So there's a delay, which just means like the first initial buzzer, how long you want to wait for your buzzer. And then after that, in between reps is basically the 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, however long you need to set up for the next drill. If I was just drawing and firing and then holstering without any reload, I might drop that down to 2 seconds. If I'm requiring more setup, like magazine back in my pouch, magazine, like right now I'm practicing off the table, gun put on table, I will make sure that that's a 5 second run so I can reset my whole gear all over again. So with that said, all of that stuff is that for dry fire. But if there's one more way that I want to record more data, then I'll switch over to what's called the live shooting, but I'm gonna do it for dry fire. Because for instance, I wanna record how quickly I can get the magazine off the table and insert into my gun. Maybe I want to record that, and there's a way around that. Instead of just measuring your last shot or the last sound that you made in dry fire, you can go to shooting and it'll record, and you can put it up to the 100% sensitivity and it'll record all the sounds it records, put it on video and record yourself, and you can see now how fast, or with video, without video, it's better with video, but you can now record, see how many times, how quickly you got your gun, hand to the mag, how quickly you inserted it, and you can have all this other data that you can improve upon.